Time now for the Nick Hart Show, our weekly chat with the Gibson Southern Titans head football coach, Nick Hart. It's a presentation of the Gibson Southern Football Boosters, including Hip Dentistry, in memory of Darwin and Eric Kalis, JMCO Technologies, Kiesel Enterprises Incorporated, MyTech Systems, Robert Goob Vermillion of Indiana Farm Bureau Insurance, Rhythm Church, Evansville, Scotty's Lawn Equipment, 10 Barge Seed and Turfgrass Supplies, TYFL, Vogler Metalwork and Design Incorporated, Reinbrecht Homes, Stodgel Funeral Home and Monuments, Young's Auto Body, Light Transport, Brett's Car Care, Baker Tax and Financial Services, Cordray Insurance, Daylight Land Management, Davis Brothers, Du Bois County Garage Doors, Duke Energy, Foster Construction, Fort Branch Dairy Queen, Harper's Pub and Pizza, Hobstadt Summerfest Incorporated, Heidorn Construction, Hobstadt Family Dentistry, Hen Orthodontics, Hillside Gardens, ADG Architecture and Design Group, Dady Oil, Johnson Commercial Mowing, in loving memory of Zach Bailey, Julia's School of Dance, Kathy Solman Photography, Make Your Mark, United Fidelity Bank, Vertical Tile, Grandparents of Jackson Adams, Tri-State Fence, Emerson Cattle Company, Iron Horse Bar and Grill, Deborah Borchelt, and Pole Concrete. The Nick Hart Show, a special presentation of the Gibson Southern Football Boosters, Wabash Valley College's Radio, TV, and Digital Media Department, and 89 Won the Bash, starts now.
Good evening, Titan fans, and welcome to the Nick Hart Show here on 89.1 The Bash, as well as BashRadio.com. Cole Carter with you as the Gibson Southern Titans are preparing for a big conference showdown this Friday night on the road against the Wildcats of Mount Vernon. We'll get to that game in just a bit, but first let's recap what happened last Friday at home. Homecoming for Gibson Southern, a big 42-3 win over conference rival Heritage Hills. Some stats from that game: Brady Allen, 11 for 13 with 182 yards and 3 touchdown passes. In the run game, Sean DeLong, 78 yards rushing and a touchdown. Adrian Lukeman had 14 yards rushing with a score. In the receiving department, Sean DeLong led the way with 3 catches and 88 yards and a touchdown. Rory Heltsley had 5 receptions for 85 yards and a score. Caden Hurlis with 1 catch that was a 9-yard touchdown. And in special teams, Rory Heltsley with the block punt and a scoop and score touchdown. Once again, final score from last Friday, Gibson Southern, a big win over Heritage Hills with a final score of 42-3. The Titans are now 5-1 in this 2021 season. It's been exciting so far, but things could get real exciting this Friday night as the Titans face 6-0 Mount Vernon. It's the first time these two teams will face off since 2014. That was a sectional matchup. They were supposed to play last year, but Mount Vernon could not play due to COVID issues in their locker room, so a much-anticipated matchup this Friday night, Gibson Southern against Mount Vernon. We'll get you ready for that matchup here in just a bit. We'll take our first break of the evening. When we come back, we'll sit down with head coach Nick Hart, and then later on in the show, we'll be joined by a Titans player. You don't want to miss it. Stay tuned. It's the Nick Hart Show here on 89.1 The Bash.
The Nick Hart Show is brought to you by the following Gibson Southern Football Booster Gold sponsors: Brett's Car Care, Baker Tax and Financial Services, Cordray Insurance, Daylight Land Management, Davis Brothers, Du Bois County Garage Doors, Duke Energy, Foster Construction, Fort Branch Dairy Queen, Harper's Pub and Pizza, Hobstadt Summerfest Incorporated, Heidorn Construction, Hobstadt Family Dentistry, Hen Orthodontics, and by Hillside Gardens.
Welcome back into the Nick Hart Show here on 89.1 The Bash. Cole Carter with you, being joined now by Gibson Southern head coach Nick Hart. And our coach will jump right into things. A big win back on Friday against Heritage Hills, winning 42-3. What were your overall thoughts from Friday's game?
I thought we did a great job. I thought Our attention to detail and execution was at a very high level, offensively and defensively. Special teams have made a big play with the block punt. Really in all three phases, I thought we played very well and was really proud of how we came out. Like I said, paid attention to detail, did our assignments really well. And, I thought we were really physical on the defensive side, which you have to be when a team tries to load up on you the way they did. So just a great job by our guys, really in all three phases of the game.
You mentioned all three phases. The offense was stellar as usual. The defense was dominant as usual back on Friday. And then the special teams. You got a block punt for a touchdown. It's the third time this year that you've got a special team score. And when you're clicking on all three cylinders, you guys are hard to beat.
Yeah, and the last 2 weeks, we had a kickoff return against Southridge and a block punt this week. So to get those big plays on special teams is huge. As far as momentum of the game, and you're basically stealing a score. It's huge, and I think we've done a really good job. Like they popped one kickoff return on us to about midfield, but our first kickoff of the game, we pinned them down inside the 10. I thought we did a great job in coverage all night. A lot of those hidden yards. I think we've done a really good job, other than the South Warren game, of those. I think the big plays stand out as far as block punts and kickoff returns and stuff. But the hidden yards that we're getting out of our special teams, out of our coverage and our return teams, has been really big for us.
And it was another great game from the defense. Much like the Southridge game, they just allowed one field goal, and then other than that, Heritage Hills could not move the football. And we've seen it so many times this year. Your defense came to play and did a great job.
Yeah, they were great all night long. And I thought the best sequence they had was when we gave up the field goal. We turned the ball over and gave them a short field, and we bowed our necks and got a stop and held them to a field goal there. And again, you talk about momentum. They get a big play there, to get down in the red zone on the turnover, and we hold strong and hold them to a field goal. That's a big play there to keep a team to 3 when your back's kind of against the wall. So, I thought our defense was just phenomenal the entire night. They made it really tough, and I think we talked last week on the show, like you play a team like that, you got to win on first down. If you're in 2nd and 6 or 2nd and 5, they're where they want to be. And I thought, for the most part, the entire night, we had them in 2nd and 8, 2nd and 9, 2nd and 10. We kind of put them in some tough spots that we wanted them to be in and they didn't want to be in. Winning first down was big for us. I thought our defense did a great job.
And the offense back on Friday looked stellar as usual, but what really stands out to me, Coach, is when Brady has time to throw, that's when he looks his sharpest. Obviously, he's made some plays out of the pocket, but when the offensive line is able to hold their blocks and give him time to pass, that's when your offense is the most successful.
Yeah, I think, they've done a great job, probably other than the South Warren game. And credit to them for, their D-line was really good and had a lot to do with that too. No, I think we're doing a great job on the offensive line. We ran the ball really well on Friday night. And then, like you said, pass protection, he had a lot of time back there to make his reads and deliver the ball. They threw a lot at us defensively, and I thought our kids handled it really well, whether it be up front or our skill guys in the secondary. We got some different looks, and I thought they did a great job of handling those looks and executing at a high level.
And the offensive line did a great job in the run department as well. We mentioned last week during the show that in the South Warren game, you guys really couldn't run the ball because you fell down early. And then in the Southridge game, the passing lanes were just there for you guys. But you guys got back to the ground and pound last week, and Sean DeLong had a great game.
Yeah, he did. He had one of those, he's such a you don't hear this about running backs a lot. He's really a dual threat guy, the way he can catch the football. And the way he runs it. So, I thought he did a great job running the ball. Our offensive line was great for him, and he had some big plays in the receiving game as well. So, I think that we haven't always had this luxury. It's it's such a luxury when your running back can step in and play slot in our empty stuff the way that he does, because not having to sub and bring in that fifth receiver to tip your hand that you're going empty is a great advantage for us. And Sean does a great job whenever we get in that empty stuff. Of he played receiver for us last year, so it's second nature to him. But he does a great job out of the backfield catching the ball and also in our empty stuff. And like you said, I thought he ran the ball really well on Friday night.
So moving on to this Friday night, you guys are going to play in what could be the conference championship as you travel to Mount Vernon. Of course, still a couple of conference games to go, but right now Mount Vernon, they're undefeated at 6-0. You guys come in at 5-1. What do we know about the Wildcats?
Very good football team, and like you said, this isn't for the conference because I don't know what they have left conference-wise, but I know we have 2 conference games left after this, so you still have work to do, but we're both undefeated in the conference. Everybody else has a loss, so the winner is going to be in good position, going the rest of the way here. But very, very good football team. I think you look at them defensively, they haven't given up a lot of points. They do a great job assignment wise. They fly to the football. They have a lot of good players on the defensive side, so they've done a great job all year of limiting opponents. And how many points that they're putting up. And then, offensively, they have some really dynamic guys. The Burnett kid at quarterback does a great job. He throws the ball really well, especially, he's only a sophomore. I think he does a great job with it. And he's really good in their run game stuff. And, the Hook kid and the Snodgrass kid are 2 other weapons for him. And they have a really good receiver outside. So, they have some nice weapons. He's a really good football player. They have nice weapons around him that make a lot of plays. But they're very dynamic. I think they can hit the big play on you. But they're good enough to drive the football and score in that way as well. So it's obviously that they've done a great job so far this year. They're undefeated, and will be a great test for us on Friday night.
What can we expect to see from the Wildcats in terms of X's and O's?
Yeah, they're all spread. So they get the quarterback involved. He's obviously in the zone read stuff, but they'll get him in with quarterback counter, quarterback power, and some of that stuff too. Run some zone with him. Just some predetermined quarterback run stuff, and then like I said, they do a really good job of throwing it around out of that, and their backs do a good job, running their inside zone stuff. And I think that presents a challenge to you defensively, when you don't want the quarterback running the ball in the zone read stuff, that opens up lanes for the running backs and stuff. So, you got to be really good about how you're going to attack that and discipline in the way that you're going to attack that. So, because everybody doesn't want to turn their quarterback loose, but you can't turn the running backs loose either, and commit too much to stopping the quarterback in the zone read stuff. So the running backs do a great job and run hard, and they make some big plays out of the backfield as well.
This is not your first go around in terms of being in big games late in the year with big conference implications. And when you are going into a big game like this with a hostile environment, what are you preaching to your kids during the week, during practice, and what are you going to say before the game? Kind of what's the mindset going into a big game like this Friday night?
Well, I think it's going to be a really fun atmosphere, playoff-like. I don't know the last time that they were 6-0, but I think it's probably been a while. And we're having a good year as well, so I think there's going to be a lot of people there. And pretty excited about what's going on, which is always fun to play and coach in. These are the type of games that you get excited about and want to be a part of. And, I think the good thing for us is, we've faced some really stiff competition in the early part of the season, gone to some difficult places to play already. So I think, you kind of draw off that experience a little bit as you go in, and, we play those type of games. So, when you get in these big games in your conference or in the playoffs, you've experienced that before and everything. So, just kind of focusing on what we need to do. And, we always talk about winning the next play, whether the last play was a good one or a bad one, go win the next one. And we just got to go out and win the next play on Friday night and put a bunch of those together, and then you can have a good night.
We've talked about it so many times this year, that being the non-conference games that you place in the early part of your schedule to get you ready for this time of the year when you're playing big conference games and eventually get you ready for the postseason. So looking back now at those non-conference games against Columbus North, against New Albany, and against South Warren, how important do you feel that those games were to get you ready for games like this Friday?
I think it definitely is. And I think, one of the great things about it, and it's just, this isn't how we scheduled it, but, we've played some dynamic quarterbacks, through those 3 games that you talked about. I thought all 3 teams, had very dynamic quarterbacks, and we're going to face one on Friday. So, that was good experience for us, in the early part of the season, getting to see those dynamic quarterbacks that can run it and throw it, and how we defended them and what we need to do better, kind of draw off that a little bit, and we're going to need it. He's a really good football player. And so I think, those games, whether it's that or, you talk about some of the receivers we face, Mount Vernon has good receivers, but, we face some good receivers as we've gone through the non-conference schedule. And, I just think all that, it doesn't necessarily like make you better, but it can if approached in the right way. And I think our kids have approached it in the right way. We had to prepare really hard all those weeks to be in a position to be successful. And when we weren't, we were able to kind of learn from that and what we need to do better. And I think, now it's put us into a good position. And I think, I don't know, I haven't really talked to our kids about it, but, I feel like the game's kind of slowed down for them. We had to play so fast those first 4 weeks because of our opponents and what they brought to the table. I think, and we get back to the teams that are, more our classification in our conference, the game slowed down a little bit, as far as how Friday nights go.
Last question I have as we get to the final weeks of the regular season. Health is obviously always going to be a concern, but where do we stand right now in terms of a couple injuries on the roster?
We're in good shape. Knock on wood. We came out of Friday healthy, and so we're working one guy back that's been out for a little bit, and keep trying to get him closer to being 100% and the football player he was in the first couple of weeks. But we're really healthy for this part of the year, which is a great thing, and hopefully we can keep that part going as the season goes on.
All right, Coach. Well, as always, thank you for your time. We'll chat with you again next Tuesday, and good luck on Friday in a big game against Mount Vernon.
All right, thank you.
That's Gibson Southern head coach Nick Hart, and we'll take our second break of the evening. We come back, we'll chat with Titans wide receiver Rory Heltsley. Stay tuned. It's the Nick Hart Show here on 89.1 The Bash and BashRadio.com.
The Nick Hart Show made possible by the following gold sponsors of the Gibson Southern Football Boosters. Hip Dentistry, in memory of Darwin and Eric Kalis. JMCO Technologies, Kiesel Enterprises Incorporated, MyTech Systems, Robert Goob Vermillion of Indiana Farm Bureau Insurance, Rhythm Church Evansville, Scotty's Lawn Equipment, Ten Barge Seed and Turfgrass Supplies, TYFL, Vogler Metalwork and Design Incorporated, Reinbrecht Homes, Stodgel Funeral Home and Monuments, Young's Auto Body, and Like Transport.
Welcome back to the Nick Hart Show right here on 89.1 The Bash and BashRadio.com. Cole Carter with you. Once again, a big thanks to Nick Hart taking some time to chat with me tonight. We are now being joined by Titans wide receiver Rory Heltsley. Rory, thank you for your time tonight. And, man, what a start to the season. You guys are 5-1. What are your thoughts on how the season's gone so far?
Oh, we've been doing great. I think that we've really improved throughout the season, going from that first game to now. I mean, we've obviously played some very good competition, so we've had to overcome and adapt a lot of things. And I think right now we're playing on all cylinders and just got to continue playing at a high level.
Rory, you mentioned that tough competition there early in the year. Coach Nick Hart does his best to schedule you guys with the toughest teams that he can to get you guys ready for the conference part of the season. Playing a 6A school like Columbus North, 5A schools like New Albany and South Warren. I guess how thankful are you guys that you had those tough teams early on to get you ready for this conference slate and the rest of the season?
Oh yeah, we're grateful. I mean, we playing those teams, we get to see some high-level competition that we might not see in our conference, and we got a good conference around here. Got some really good teams, and playing those good teams though, we get to see like that high-level competition, like I said, and we get to going against that competition really builds us up in character and in our ability to play the game. We get to see a lot of different looks too. So yeah, just builds us up, gets us ready for later on in the postseason and now in our conference play.
Chatting with Titans wide receiver Rory Heltsley here on the Nick Hart Show. And Rory, you had a breakout season last year, and you really have carried it over into this season with double-digit touchdowns already. And your connection with Brady Allen on the field is incredible. But I got to ask, what's that connection like off the field? I mean, are you guys going to lunch every day, carpooling to school every day? What's that connection like with your quarterback when it's not Friday night?
We got a pretty good friendship. I mean, we're not in any classes together to say, or we don't hang out really outside of school, but during the school, we see each other. We're going to say hi. We're going to ask how each other's doing. If we see each other at lunch or something, we're going to say hi. We go out to eat every Thursday, me and him and a lot of our teammates for the offense, and defense goes somewhere else. I mean, we get that chemistry on and off the field, like you said, and we really like to get to know each other. So it's not just like on the field, and then we get off the field, we're not friends. So we go and we like to hang out. Sometimes we'll hang out as a big group with us and a couple of our buddies. So,
Rory, you mentioned that chemistry, not just with you and Brady, but with the entire team. I mean, you can tell just watching you guys every week that you guys have a special connection on the field. And how important is that to be successful, to have that chemistry with one another?
Oh, it's so important to have that high chemistry, knowing what other people are thinking at the same time that you are. If you guys are in sync and ready to go, it makes everybody more confident in their play and makes them look forward to going out and playing together. If you don't have the chemistry like a team like us as a team, you're going to miss out on a lot of the fun things like having the high energy in each game.
Once again, chatting with Titans wide receiver Rory Heltsley. And Rory, Nick Hart called you two things in the preseason. He called you, one, the best route runner he's ever coached, and two, the most under-recruited receiver in the country. Well, first, what are your thoughts on those two statements?
Oh, it's a blessing. I mean, I think Coach Hart's a great guy, and I really appreciate the things he has to say about me. It makes me feel good and makes me feel like my hard work throughout the off seasons is really showing off during the season.
And Rory, on the recruiting side of things, I know last year you caught the attention of a couple of big schools. And so what's that recruitment process been like, and kind of where do you stand right now?
It's been different. I mean, I've had to adapt to a lot of things. Obviously, I got that first offer from Air Force back in March, and from there, I had to learn a lot about the recruiting process through Coach Hart and Brady. They helped me a lot. Obviously, Brady with his Purdue offer, his Purdue commit, so they've both helped me quite a bit with this process. And right now, I'm really focusing in on the season, trying to. I mean, obviously, you want to keep college in your mind, get ready for the next level, but I want to give my time to my teammates and my attention to the football program right now, so that I'm not looking ahead and I'm looking to just now.
Chatting with Titans wide receiver Rory Heltsley here on the Nick Hart Show. And Rory, you guys got a big matchup this Friday against Mount Vernon. You guys didn't play the Wildcats last year due to COVID issues on their side. From what you've seen this year, what do you know about the Wildcats?
I know they're a good team. They're ranked high for a reason. They got really good. They got a really good squad. And I know their quarterback's pretty good. He can sling it. And I mean, he plays on the defensive side too. So we'll look out for his speed on the defensive side. And they got a couple of two-way players that are really good that we got to look out for. And like you said, we didn't play them last year. So a lot of these looks that we're going to be seeing will be a first for us going against them. But I think it'll be a good, tough matchup. And hopefully that when we go in and maybe we can come out with the dub.
All right, Rory, last question for me. What feels better, scoring a receiving touchdown or running in a blocked punt for a touchdown?
Oh, well, when that happened, it was very exciting. Blocked punt touchdown, that doesn't come around very often, so I might have to say that. It's always good to get on the defensive side and help those guys out,
All right, once again, that's Titans wide receiver Rory Heltsley. Rory, thanks for your time tonight. Good luck on Friday and the rest of the season.
I appreciate it.
We'll go ahead and take our final break of the evening and get you ready for this Friday's matchup between Gibson Southern and Mount Vernon. Don't go anywhere. It's the Nick Hart Show here on 89.1 The Bash.
The Nick Hart Show is made possible by the following silver-level sponsors of the Gibson Southern Football Boosters: ADG Architecture and Design Group, Dady Oil, Johnson Commercial Mowing, in loving memory of Zach Bailey, Julia's School of Dance, Kathy Solman Photography, Make Your Mark, United Fidelity Bank, Vertical Tile, Grandparents of Jackson Adams, Tri-State Fence, Emerson Cattle Company, Iron Horse Bar and Grill, Deborah Borchelt, and Pole Concrete.
Welcome back into the Nick Hart Show, final segment of tonight's show. And once again, the Titans are on the road this Friday night to take on the undefeated Wildcats of Mount Vernon, a game that could very well end up to be the PAC Conference Championship. You won't want to miss it. And if you cannot make it to the game on Friday, you can tune in right here at 7 o'clock for the Titans against the Wildcats. Gibson Southern 5-1 and Mount Vernon is 6-0. The first time these two teams have faced off since 2014. Looking at the rest of the schedule for Gibson Southern, next Friday they'll be on the road again at Princeton, and they'll wrap things up in the regular season with their final home game of the regular season, Week 9 at home against Boonville. That's on Friday, October 16th, and then I assume before that final regular season game, we'll find out what the sectional pairings look like, and we'll find out where Gibson Southern will play, who they'll play, and what their postseason path will look like, and possibly what the road to Indianapolis will look like for these Gibson Southern Titans. I hope you Titans fans are as excited as I am for what's in store for this Titans football team. So once again, I want to say thanks to head coach Nick Hart and to Titans wide receiver Rory Heltsley taking some time out of their Tuesday to chat with me. It was fun. I'll be on the air Friday night as Gibson Southern takes on Mount Vernon. It's a 7 o'clock kickoff and a 6:45 pregame show. Kyler Gammon will be with me on that one. So, as always, thank you so much for tuning in to the Nick Hart Show here on 89.1 The Bash. I'll talk to you again on Friday night. Go Titans!
The Nick Hart Show has been brought to you by the following Gibson Southern Football Boosters: Brett's Car Care, Baker Tax and Financial Services, Cordray Insurance, Daylight Land Management, Davis Brothers, Du Bois County Garage Doors, Duke Energy, Foster Construction, Fort Branch Dairy Queen, Harper's Pub and Pizza, Hobstadt Summerfest Incorporated, Hydorn Construction, Hobstadt Family Dentistry, Penn Orthodontics, Hillside Gardens, Hip Dentistry, in memory of Darwin and Eric Kalis, JMCO Technologies, Kiesel Enterprises Incorporated, MyTech Systems, Robert Goob Vermillion of Indiana Farm Bureau Insurance, Rhythm Church Evansville, Scotty's Lawn Equipment, Ten Barge Seed and Turfgrass Supplies, TYFL, Vogler Metalwork and Design Incorporated, Reinbrecht Homes, Stodgel Funeral Home and Monuments, Young's Auto Body, Light Transport, ADG Architecture and Design Group, Dady Oil, Johnson Commercial Mowing, in loving memory of Zach Bailey, Julia's School of Dance, Kathy Solman Photography, Make Your Mark, United Fidelity Bank, Vertical Tile, Grandparents of Jackson Adams, Tri-State Fence, Emerson Cattle Company, Iron Horse Bar and Grill, Deborah Borchelt, and Pole Concrete. The Nick Hart Show has been a special presentation of the Gibson Southern Football Boosters, the Wabash Valley College Radio, TV, and Digital Media Department, and 89.1 The Bash.